What's up guys, Kyle here again, coming at you from 42 Gear Street in Germany. I've got Hunter, aka Agafish, here with me, and we're gonna check out the all-new Blackstar HT Stage 100 Mark III. Let's do it!
Cut away right when the Sweetwater one went so well, it was not awkward at all, so we decided to do it again.
Yep, so yeah, let's do it! Alright guys.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Thank you, God.
Thanks, God.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. That's the end of the video,
yeah. We did it.
I'm so tired.
Thanks for having me.
That was such a good video. Thanks for being here. Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. As I said, coming at you from 42 Gear Street, Henning Pauly's place here in Germany. This place is like a palace built for overcompensation. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, the man has a tiny penis.
It's probably not even visible by the naked eye. So, but with that being said, we all get to benefit from his lack of self-confidence because he brought us out here in order to check out all sorts of awesome gear. So I've got Agafish, aka Hunter here, and we are checking out this brand new amplifier from Blackstar. It is brand new, but it's not. It is, but it's not, because it's really just an updated version of the Mark II HT Stage 100. So if you guys are familiar with that amp, we've got multiple channels, multiple gain channels. We've got a clean channel, we've got power switching, we've got the patented ISF filter, which Blackstar has been known for a long time. What has been updated on this amplifier is that they have tweaked the voicing in order to make it sound more metal. So
Sick.
Obviously we're gonna be a fan, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a fan. I already know I am, because I've heard this amp and it actually sounds quite good. And you guys know that I haven't been the biggest fan of Blackstar stuff in the past, but I actually think that this thing has sounded good the times that we have used it. So the voicing tweaks, in my opinion, have been in the amp's favor. Have you heard it?
I've played it, so
Okay.
I've cheated already.
All right.
But I've not played it with a baritone in drop A, which is why I've got this absolute ooga boogler chug machine. Because I feel like it should sound good, but also you never know until you try it out.
Right, and even all the way back to the 60s, like, you never knew what an amp could do until you plugged in a 30-inch baritone.
Yeah, could it oogle or boogler?
Or an Uba Booba guitar. But the main thing that Blackstar has done with this amp is they have added the cab rig technology into it. So you can plug this thing into your computer via a Type-C cable, and you get the whole Blackstar cab rig suite, which is actually very good. I've used it on the amped stuff before. It's intuitive. There's lots of control over it. So you're really getting a massive benefit by getting the Mark III over the Mark II, because you get a whole new feature that's going to open up a lot of digital options for your recording pleasure. So yeah, that's really it. That's what they told me. So if
Really?
I left anything out,
They didn't tell me any of it.
it's their fault. It's not my fault.
They're just like,
So
hey, check this out.
thank you, Blackstar, for letting us demo your amplifier. So that intro clip, I was using this honestly awesome Yamaha Revstar. Not really my speed normally, but I've been playing this guitar repeatedly here at Gear Street, and it's been really impressing me. We had no boost on in front of the amp, but just because we've been having fun with it while we've been here at Gear Street, we've got the crazy tube circuits, superconductor. Long story short, it's got multiple different boost and drive circuits in one pedal that are available to you at the flip of a knob and a switch. We are going into a DI and a V30 type SM57 thing on the aux box. Never really heard of that setup before, but I think that we'll be able to make do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over into OD1. I'm gonna have Hunter play some Ooga Booga riffs, and I'm gonna try to dial the amp in to make it sound good. So why don't we do that? You ready?
Let's do it. Yep.
All right. Do you need the cable?
Nope. Thanks, dude.
Wow, you really didn't come prepared, did you? You didn't bring your own cable. Dude, honestly, even without the overdrive in front, obviously it was pretty dry, but like it sounded good. It didn't really sound like it was. Obviously, I would like more saturation, so that's where the boost came in. But like overall, I feel like I got the tonality that I personally would have wanted out of it, even with a very low tuning. Obviously, there are things that I would like to tweak about it. That I think we're gonna find in voicing 2 versus voicing 1, or OD2 versus OD1. But OD1 on its own had a pleasant sound to it. So give me
that was pleasant.
Real quick. You didn't think it was?
It's just drop tuned as fuck.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
So
that's beside the point.
So pleasant.
So just out of curiosity. I actually don't really feel like I need to touch anything.
No, it sounds fantastic for because when I first tried it, it was standard tuning.
Yeah,
I was dropping all of the darkness riffs and everything, and it sounded awesome.
Cool.
For that.
And that's if you're going to have a lower gain channel, that's what you want it to do. You don't want 2 super high gain channels. But since I'm a belligerent amateur, I do want 2 super high gain channels. So we're gonna leave that overdrive on, and I'm gonna play a quick riff. All right, so for that, overall, it sounded good. Maybe a little congested in the low mids for my personal taste. If you wanted to do some dad rock type stuff, kick off the overdrive, kick off the voice.
So also, it's got the ISF thing. I don't know if you played around with that, but you can get a ridiculous number of tones on each channel because it's got the 2 voices, plus it's got the ISF.
Yeah.
So you can go like full American to full British and like somewhere in between. It's absolutely ridiculous.
How many numbers would you say of tones?
Infinite.
Give me a number.
Well, okay.
Give me a number.
-1.
-1?
-1, yeah.
That's not very many.
Yeah, well, that's...
All right, cool. So, to be 100% honest with the ISF filter, I have always just found that I liked it dialed all the way this way for my personal taste. That's a personal taste thing. So, when we switch over to OD2, I will play with that filter a little bit. It's almost like a second nature thing for me to just leave it there, so I did actually forget about it. When people say that I don't do amps justice at all because I don't use all the features, you're absolutely correct. So let's move over to...
Yeah, I'll be in the comments with the pitchforks. I'll be right there with you guys.
You didn't play my favorite thing. So we're going to move over to OD number 2. I'm going to hand this back to Hunter, and we're really going to be able to get into that high gain and low tune territory on this channel because that's more of what it is meant for. So superconductor is off, and go ahead, I'll dial you in.
You son of a bitch!
So what's weird is like, obviously, you know, pickups do make a difference. Guitars do make a difference.
Glenn.
When you are playing this particular guitar, I actually feel like the low mids are clearer, even though it's tuned way down. Because like on the OD number 1, I thought that it sounded clearer in the low mids when you were playing, and I was actually kind of surprised when I plugged this guitar back in because they sounded kind of round and cloudy again.
Yeah.
So as soon as we clicked over to OD2, we've got the voicing switch on. The voicing switch adds a lot of upper mid, kind of modern upper mid bite and tightens up the low end quite a bit. We had no superconductor on and it still sounded tight. It still sounded defined in the low end. Maybe, again, a little bit dry for my personal taste. I like a little bit more saturation than that. But it sounds surprisingly good without an overdrive. Like, you know, I like my overdrive pedals in front of my amps. People hate that about my demos, but that's just what I personally gravitate towards. But when I find an amp that sounds good without an overdrive pedal, it usually sticks out to me right away. And I'm hearing that when you play it with that guitar, which is surprising because it's very low tuned with thick strings.
Because it's absolutely stupid.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
completely unnecessary. It should be burned at the stake. So I think it sounds cool. Go ahead and play one more time. I'm going to kick on the superconductor. We'll see how it takes a boost. I'll play one more riff and we'll get out of here. But yeah, I'm liking this, especially on OD2, especially in the lower tunings. I'm liking how this is sounding.
Yeah, for sure. I've been trying to nail that picking pattern down. I just can't. So we're just gonna cut that out of the video. I'm sure.
We're not gonna cut that. Well,
we're gonna cut that out.
We just got humbled by Rudy Ayub, and it's sticking in our heads a little bit. So if our playing's worse than normal, that's why.
It's not. It's not worse
Is
than
it?
normal.
No? Okay.
This is normal.
I was giving you an out, bro. Take
This is
it.
normal.
So yeah, again, I think everything that I said still applied. Kicking in the boost, honestly, not that big of a difference. I think it sounds good either way. How did it feel? Like, did it feel easy to play? Did you feel like you had to dig in?
This one almost felt like it was too much with the boost.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's a little over top of the gain.
Yeah.
I'm definitely noticing what I said to be true between the two guitars. Even though this isn't a much higher tuning, it's very low, mid, heavy. Probably the pickups. So that's with the superconductor on. This adds a significant like round mid boost to things. I think that we're gonna get more string clarity without it. Yes.
Yeah. Who is the manufacturer of this?
Crazy Tube Circuits.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
I love them.
Thought you were going somewhere with that?
No, I just wanted to know what boost to not use.
Oh, okay, I got you.
For my own,
I will say
for my own personal taste.
This has been working well with other amps, not loving it with this one. But that's why you just buy a whole bunch of amps and a whole bunch of pedals and you can mix them up. That's the only solution. So we're gonna pull that ISF filter back. I'm gonna punch in a little bit more resonance, a little bit more bass, and a little bit more gain. Yeah, because we turned our overdrive off. Stupid idiot. That's actually a little bit too much bass without the overdrive, so let's pull that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be it for me on the guitar today because this is not going so well. Blackstar, I apologize because we are absolutely drained at this point. But with that being said, what do you think? Final thoughts?
You know what? With this one, I wasn't expecting it to sound as good as it did, at least in the room.
Right.
Right? We might get murdered in the comments again.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
But like when I first played this with like the standard guitar, I think I was actually using that one.
Okay.
I liked it a lot better than the St. James, which
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting. Like it had more character, and again, this may just be like in the room, but I tried the St. James amp, and I think my conclusion from that one, I said in that video, was it's cool, all the features it's got, it's cool, but it sounds like an amp.
Yeah.
You know, like I couldn't
Right.
tell you if I heard that anywhere. I couldn't tell you it's a Blackstar. It sounds like an amp.
That's definitely a guitar tone.
Yeah, it's definitely a guitar into an amp,
Yeah.
for sure.
I know what you mean.
This one seems to have a lot more character for me, especially with the ISF, as you said, all the way to the left. And so I actually liked this amp better than the other one, and this is apparently like the lower end version.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like $200, $300 cheaper, US dollars,
Yeah.
because that's a currency that matters in the world.
Hell yeah, it does. But like, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised because my perception of Blackstar up until now has straight up been, oh, cool, it sounds like an amp.
Yeah.
It does amp things. This is the first one that I was like, oh, okay, like there's something interesting going on with the character, and I don't know what that is yet,
Yeah,
but I
it's-
liked it.
It's one of those things where we would have to take it into our own environment to really nail down
Yeah.
what it is. I agree with you. The St. James, very flat. What I like about that is it takes boosts and different pickups very well. Like
Yeah.
you can really color the tone with the signal going into the front end of the amp, which is something that I actually personally like about it. If you're not a pedal into an amp person, you may not like it. Totally agree with you. This amp has a good character out of the box. One of the few amps that I've plugged into without an overdrive and been like, okay, that's got the upper mid aggression that I like. It's got the low end tightness that I like. The only thing that I would say is maybe I wish it had a little bit more gain without an overdrive, because then I could get away with it without an overdrive. But versus the old HT, the Stage 100,
whatever.
Mark II, and Mark I. I liked this right away, whereas those I tried really hard to like them and never really got along with them, which is what I told to Blackstar when I saw them. Yeah, I think they made some solid improvements, and again, we didn't touch on the cab rig stuff here because we can't, but you're getting an entire other side of the amp that was not existent in the older versions. Yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching this train wreck. Thank you so much to Blackstar for providing this amp for us to check it out with you here on the channel, and all the other great brands that have been a part of 42 Gear Street, and Henning Pauly for having us out. That's gonna do it for us.
Yeah, thanks
Let's,
to all of the people that you just said that I totally was
Yeah.
paying attention to.
Okay, you definitely didn't zone out halfway through that. Yeah, that's it. I'm done, man. All right.
Thanks for having me, Kyle.
You bet. Train wreck number 2 in the books for us.
We did it.
All right, goodbye. That ain't,
Pull your chair up.
that ain't right.
Pull your chair up.
That made it worse.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Well,